One of the things that really put a monkey wrench in my personal fitness journey was I underestimated how hard it was going to be. I underestimated how much work was going to have to go into it, because I would look at the people that I seen in the gym. I would look at the people that I aspired to be like, and they made it seem so easy. It just looked effortless for them. And then when I would read different magazines or watch different YouTubes, everybody would talk about how easy it is and all. But when I actually went to do the work, it was the exact opposite. It was hard as hell. It was so hard. Getting up early was so hard. It was so difficult. It was so challenging. Going to the gym and pushing yourself to the point where you would almost pass out, pushing yourself to the point where you couldn't wait to be done. And then waking up the next day and being sore. And then the next day after that being even sore. Like, I didn't understand why it was so hard for me. In the reality of it, it's supposed to be hard. Like, the process is hard. And sometimes you'll hear people say how easy it is, and you just have to do this and you just have to do that. Well, here's the reality. There's nothing easy about getting in the absolute best shape of your life. There's just not. But here's also the reality. You were created with so much inside of you, so much potential, so much ability, so much that we're capable of as men, that a lot of times society tries to tell us we're weak. Society tries to tell us we can't do what we think we can do. And the reality is, I could do way more than I thought I could do. I just didn't understand it at the time. I didn't understand. I was only operating at 60%. I had 40% left. And it wasn't till, I kept going to the gym over and over and over and over. And it's not that the gym got any easier. The gym, to this day, after going to the gym forever, the gym is not any easier. The only thing that happens is I got better. The only thing that happens is we get better. Our mind, like, my mindset has changed. You always have these two voices in your head. Well, at least I do. And there's this one voice that's this weak, puny, crybaby, Tampax wearing version of yourself that tells you, you've been in here 20 minutes, that's enough, go home. Or, no one's watching. No one's gonna watch you. You don't have to do this last rep. And then there's that other badass version of you. There's that version of you that's attached to your soul. There's that version of you that you connect with. There's that version of you that's this strong alpha man that you're supposed to be, that will not let you quit, that will not let you skip reps. And you have this choice. You have the choice to listen to this crybaby, weak version of yourself, which I often did when I first started, or this version of you you're supposed to be, you are meant to be, and God put you on this earth to be the one capable of executing, the one capable of following through on a mission, the one that's driven by purpose, the one that's driven by excitement, the one that's driven by the thrill of the kill. And these are the two voices that we all have. And at the beginning, this weak voice is very loud, is so loud, like screaming in your ear. All kind of things like, this might not even be safe. You could pass out. Like, all of these things this weak voice is in your head about. And this dominant voice is quiet at the beginning. It's shallow. It almost doesn't want to speak up. But the thing about it was, the weak voice, I never connected with it. I always felt like that truly wasn't me. I always understood there was more in me. I just needed to tap into it. I just needed to dig deep. And sometimes we hear that saying, like, dig deep, and we say it, but we don't understand what that means. But reality is, you're going to have to dig down to figure out who you really are, because the world has stacked all of these layers on top of you, right? So the world has stacked layers talking about you're weak, you're not strong, sit down and shut up. Like, all of these things. Not to mention, not only has the world piled all these layers on, I piled layers on myself. Whenever you start something and quit, You develop the habit of that. Whenever you start something and don't finish, don't follow through, don't see it to completion, that like you attach that with your identity. Consciously or subconsciously, you attach that with your identity. And for a long time, that's what I had done. And I just got to the point, honestly, where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got to the point where when I looked in the mirror, I wasn't happy with who I seen. Like I genuinely didn't even recognize the person I seen in the mirror because I knew internally that wasn't me I was looking at. And there was so much more. And this is one of the things about, fitness, and this is why I love it so much, because when you really get in the trenches, when you get in the gym and start getting after it every single day, it forces you to decide and figure out who you really are as a man. Like as men, we need to do tough stuff. We were built to do tough stuff. And a lot of times in life, we live this very easy life. When I say easy life, I mean, most of us may go to work or we sit down all day long and we're polite. And it's just this very, like we're coddled almost as men. And as men, we need to do hard things. We need to be faced with adversity. That's what brings out the best in us. We're not meant to live in this padded, docile world. We're just not meant to that. We're meant to be competitive. We're meant to compete. We're meant to go after things. And a lot of times in today's society, we don't get the chance to do that. But for me, I found when I go to the gym, it allows me to compete. It allows me to get better on a daily basis. It allows me to dig deep and figure out, who are you really? And what I've found is the harder I push myself, the harder I go, like I find parts of me I didn't even know existed. This is why when you go to the gym, I don't care how you're feeling. It can be a day when you do not want to go to the gym, like you just don't want to be there. You'll never leave the gym and say, man, I wish I wouldn't have went. That will never happen. Well, why is that? Because you got a chance to bring out a version of you that you didn't know existed. Those are the days you need to go to the gym. Those are the days you need to get after it. The days, it's not the day when everything's easy. It's when it's hard, when you don't want to get up out of bed. When everything in your mind is telling you, just sleep. Your body needs the rest. You've been going hard all week. It's Saturday. What does that even mean? Like your results don't care what day it is. They don't care. Like everything you need to be successful is already inside of you. You just have to find it. You just have to dig it up. You have to mine it. It's no different than when miners go mine for diamonds. Like diamonds aren't just left out. You don't stroll down the road or in the woods or wherever and just find diamonds sitting. No. You have to mine them. You have to dig. You have to go through rock. You have to go through granite. It takes blood. It takes sweat. It takes tears that honestly, a lot of people aren't willing to do. It's the same thing with getting results. A lot of people aren't willing to do what it takes. So before you even go on this journey, because it is a journey, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to do what it takes? And for a long time, I wasn't. I said I was. I told myself I was ready, but I really wasn't. It wasn't to the point, it wasn't until I said enough is enough. And I didn't care how long it took. I didn't care what I had to do. I didn't care how early I had to get up. I just wanted to become the absolute best version of myself. Like I wanted to be a savage, an absolute savage. I wanted to be a complete tool. Like I wanted to be the kind of dude, when I walk in a room, people understand my work ethic by just looking at my physique. I wanted to be the dude who walks in a room and people like question in their head, like, how did he do that? How did he, like, I don't get it. Is he on steroids? Is he like, because that's impossible to just do that. Like I wanted that. Why? Because I always knew that was inside of me. I always knew what I was capable of. But when I was 187 pounds, skinny, nobody else seen that. But I knew deep down like there was so much more to me. I wanted to be the type of man who, when my wife walks next to me, she's so confident if anything pops off, she ain't worried. She's not worried. Why? Because of the man that I became. It wasn't even about having the muscles or the shoulders or the chest. Like, yeah, that's a cool byproduct. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna lie. It's a cool byproduct. But the thing that I wanted to be the man. I wanted to be the person like people can just look at me and say, I can count on him. That's someone I can count on. I can tell he's driven. I can tell he's motivated. I can tell he has discipline. Because I didn't look that way before. And that's what was important to me. So I say all this to say the process is the process and it's hard. Like every man goes on what I call the hero's journey. Every man. It's this path to self-discovery. It's this path to figuring out who you really are. Now, when you reach this path of self-discovery, you have a choice. We all have a choice. You can either go left, down the wide path that's paved with sunshine and rainbows, and everybody else is on that path, so you have a lot of company on that path. Or you can go down the narrow path that's cloudy, it has trees, fog, scary. But that's where you discover who you really are. Because when things are going good, going down that path, you learn nothing about yourself. There's no self-discovery. There's no challenges down there. There's a lot of coddling down there. There's a lot of yes men down there. There's a lot of people that are going to tell you, oh, you're doing so great, even though you're not. Even though you're quitting on yourself. You even know it. But if you go down that path long enough, you start to believe your stupid lies. How do I know? I've been down that path. But then down that path is shame, guilt, pain, all of these things, because it's not congruent with who you are. That path was not congruent for the man that I was. So I wasn't happy. And that's even worse when there's sunshine and rainbows and you're still not happy. When everybody's telling you, oh, life is great, and you're still not happy because you're not congruent. Your mind, your body, and your soul aren't congruent. And until your mind, body, and soul become congruent, you're never going to be happy. And it took me a long time to understand that. It took me a long time to understand that. If you probably would have told me that some years ago, I wouldn't even know what the heck you're talking about. But I'm telling you, it all starts with getting your mind in check, getting your mind where it needs to be, dialing that in, getting the habits, developing the discipline, the work ethic, the willpower, just to go at it no matter what. That's who we were created to be. That's who God literally created us to be. He told us, take dominion, take control, tame that which is wild. First thing you need to tame is your mind. First thing you need to tame is your thoughts. That's what I didn't understand. You can't tame this, your body, your flesh, until you tame this. And for me, it was when I got to that point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, where I had enough. I'm done. I'm done living this subpar life. I'm done. And immediately things started to change for me. Because again, I didn't care what it took. It was irrelevant. I didn't care what book I had to read. I didn't care how much work I had to put in. I didn't care what I had to eat. I did not care. I was only focused on the end result. That's all. Whatever stood between me and that end result, I was going to handle it. I was either going to go through it, I was going to go over it, I was going to go under it, I was going to go around it. But one thing I was not going to do is quit. That wasn't an option. It just was not an option. And all that came from going down that path, the narrow path, the scary path, with hills and mountains and valleys and thunderstorms. Because every time I would face an obstacle, it forced me to level up. It forced me to get better. That only happens down that path. Self-mastery happens down that path when you're challenged. And it can be very lonely at first. And nobody tells you this at the beginning. Like everybody talking about how easy it is. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. Because it's not just a physique that you're going to come out the other end with. You're going to be the man you've always desired. You're going to become the man that women desire, that your wife desires, that your community desires, that your kids need. That's on the other side. That's what's on the other side. But are you willing to really put in the work? Are you willing to really commit? You have it in you. I'm telling you right now, you have it in you. But if we look statistically, most people aren't willing to do the work. They're not willing to fully commit. It's like they dip their toe in the water. It's a little chilly. And then they retreat. They fold. So you have to ask yourself, before you even start your journey, what kind of man are you? What are you going to do when you get hit with adversity? What are you going to do when life knocks you down? What are you going to do when you get punched in the teeth? Not literally, figuratively, by life. Because it's going to do that. To expect anything else would be nonsense. This is the part of the journey that I didn't understand that I now understand. So if you watched this far in the video and you got here, I already know who you are as a man, and I wish you the best of luck as you go down your journey to self-mastery. And there's no doubt in my mind, you will succeed because you want it and you're committed. I'll see you on the next one.